A painted spiral in Bronze Age Knossos and a 13th-century stone pavement at Chartres share the same path-to-diameter constant, 1 to 12, down to under 5%. How did a measurement travel a millennium?
Welcome to Stargate Codex. I am Dr. Elias Thorne, lead historian and decoder of ancient systems. We bypass standard chronological textbooks to dissect preserved records, architectural, mathematical constants, and structural anomalies left by history's most guarded initiatory networks. Prepare to decode the pattern.
Start with the anomaly itself. At Knossos, a painted fragment catalogued KNF12 preserves a concentric path, an outer ring, 7 intermediate circuits, and a central rosette. Measured across preserved sectors, the path-to-diameter ratio averages approximately 1 to 12.
Now consider Chartres. The cathedral pavement recorded in the Chartres Capitular Archive, Chapter MS 187 RV, describes a ringed labyrinth with 9 major waypoints and a proportional path width that, when scaled against the nave axis, reproduces the same 1 to 12 relationship within a margin of error under 5%. Notice that. This is not decorative coincidence.
Comparable proportional systems are present in select Roman mosaics catalogued in the Corpus of Roman Mosaics, often paired with a compass rose alignment cut into the mosaic field. When independent craft traditions repeatedly converge on the same numeric vocabulary, the hypothesis of a transmissible technical register becomes necessary to test.
Measurement alone is insufficient. The documentary archive supplies corroboration. In the Rouen operative ledger, the Livre des Maîtres series, Folio 34b lists a payment for pavement of Labyrinth with a metrological addendum reading, in translation, Chemin largeur 1 pied de 6 toises par rapport au cercle interne. Read plainly, that passage instructs measurement, not mere ornament.
At Chartres, a chapter inventory dated 1220-1225, chapter MS 192V, records Labyrinthus in media novis, diam VP, an explicit diameter notation, and marginal compass bearings annotated by the master mason. Archival note, read aloud, Labyrinthus in media novis, diam VP. Those syllables in the ledger function like assembly instructions.
Templar building ledgers in the Temple Archive microfilm series, TPL7 Full 9R, include contract language commissioning a pavement like that of St. Julian, with specifications, circuits 7, and central stone keyed to northwest azimuth. That clause ties circuit count to an orientation, a cadastral or celestial anchor rather than mere decoration. Minoan iconography strengthens the reading. Several seal rings and fresco fragments juxtapose maze motifs with measuring staffs and plumbline iconography, instrument pairs that, in scribal visual language, signify measured practice. Pilgrim itineraries attached to the 12th century Liber Peregrinationum, Folio 112R, describe stopping points to see the stone labyrinth where pilgrims measure themselves to the center, phrasing that implies a calibrated traversal, a measured enactment.
17th-century Rosicrucian pamphlets carry the theme forward. A variant copy in the Bibliothèque Nationale, RC 17, P42, uses maze allegory to describe a 7-fold path of operative knowledge, with marginalia encoding square and compass proportions. These are not merely metaphors. The marginalia can be read as practical rules referencing measure. The archive places labyrinth imagery at the intersection of measurement, ritual movement, and coded pedagogy.
We can now observe a recurrent technique. First, a limited set of geometric constants, circuit count, path-to-diameter ratio, and entry axis aligned to a compass bearing acts as a consistent carrier across media. Second, Operative guild mobility spreads templates. Journeymen moved between projects, carrying rule-of-thumb constants codified in account rules and contracts. Third, selective patronage, notably Templar commissions, and later Rosicrucian sympathizers, conserved and repurposed these pavement templates.
Why does that matter? Because a pavement can function as a mnemonic and a machine. Walk the path and you enact an initiatory sequence. Measure the path and you recover a local standard. Note the keyed azimuth and you anchor the pavement to landscape or seasonal solar bearings. Combined, these layers turn stone into a durable register for technical and ritual knowledge.
Apply Skye Alden's comparative decoding in practice. Take the observed 1 to 12 path to diameter constant in KNF12 and chapter MS 187R. Treat circuit index as a radix mapping to local linear units, for example a regional foot or toise. Then test whether the ledger instructions specifying 7 circuits produce an interpretable measurement template when the local base unit is applied. Where a mason's contract supplies an azimuth, as in TPL 7 full 9 Rs northwest keying, the pavement encodes orientation as well as scale. The result is a reproducible encoding protocol linking material measure, initiatory degree, and landscape orientation. A reconstructed protocol reads, step by step. Select the local base unit. Fix an outer diameter so that path width approximates the 1 to 12 ratio. Assign circuit count according to an initiatory or degree sequence, and fix an entry azimuth tied to cadastral markers or solar bearings noted in contracts. The pavement becomes a compact data device encoding coordinate, syllabus, and calendrical marker into a single legible artifact.
Objections are valid and necessary. Not every labyrinth is a codex. Some are ornamental. Some folios are damaged, and marginalia admit multiple readings. Where the text is compromised, I flag the uncertainty in the episode notes and provide alternate transcriptions. But repeated intersections of measurable geometry and documentary prescription, Rouen Livre des Maîtres full 34b, Chartres Chaptre MS 187R, Temple Ledger TPL7 full 9R, Rosicrucian RC17 marginalia, make institutional continuity via encoded material practice the parsimonious explanation.
The implications are precise. Stone preserves templates where parchment and rolls vanish. Labyrinth pavements, therefore, acted as durable transmitters of technical knowledge across plagues, wars, and institutional rupture. They were deliberately multifunctional, metrological apparatus, initiatory syllabus, and territorial register in one artifact. The archive never lies. The text remains. For verification, I provide layered evidence in the episode notes. High-resolution photogrammetry plates, folio transcriptions, ledger folio numbers, and microfilm identifiers. Replication requires 3 steps: measure the artifact, cite the folio, and test the mapping protocol against local cadastral records and solar azimuth surveys. Where translations diverge, I include alternate readings and note the degree of certainty. If this reconstruction holds, it changes how we read material culture. Labyrinth floors are engineered registers, not mere metaphors. Future work should prioritize systematic photogrammetry of pavement fields, comparative transcription of operative roles, and azimuthal surveys to test the encoding protocol across broader samples. I will publish the raw measurements and transcriptions in forthcoming notes so other scholars can verify or refute the decoding. Find full folio citations and photogrammetry at stargatecodex.com/notes/labyrinth-codex. Subscribe for raw transcriptions and the next archival decoding.
That concludes our historical tracking of this specific anomaly within the Codex. The records demonstrate that behind the curtain of standard history lies a repeating, systemic mechanism of knowledge transmission and governance preserved across generations. We have laid out the timeline, parsed the primary source texts, and exposed the architectural blueprint. The archive remains open for those who know how to read it.